Alright guys, another video response. First point I wanted to address was the point about Christianity, or about religion, stating that, you basically have to believe in them, otherwise you're going to go to the hell or the equivalent, or, whatever. And I remember that when I was grappling with, whether or not I still believed in my faith, that was one of the biggest issues I dealt with, was that idea of, regardless of how well you lived your life, if you're a good person, if, you only brought joy and, and bettered people's lives, that just because you didn't believe something, you can still go to hell, or, whatever the faith, says. And I remember not agreeing with that at all. I remember just, thinking that was one of the most bullshit things I'd ever heard of. And I had a big problem with it. So I agree with you on that. The second thing was, I know, in video 7, somebody says something as they're, walking out of the tattoo shop, and you count, and you get kind of, angry. I couldn't tell why you got angry, so you should explain that to me, because I couldn't figure out why you did the count to 10. You just seemed pissed. The one other thing I wanted to address was the prisoner thing. I know I discussed it before and just kind of pointed holes in your logic about, making them go into a draft. If somebody could figure it out, it'd take a very intelligent person, probably take a lot of intelligent people to figure out that, and actually figure out all the logistics of it and everything. I think that the option of, you got 20 years, serve, 4 or 5 in the military, like a special unit or special division, which obviously is monitored and everything. I think that'd be a great option. I think you would have, several individuals taking that up, and I think it would help the country. And I understand that your whole thought process behind it is just they need to give something back, and then it's supposed to be punishment. And I agree with you. I like the community programs that they do of cleaning up parks, or picking up trash, etc. I think that's good. Because I'm along the same lines as going to prison or going to jail. That's a punishment. You did something wrong. You shouldn't have television. I think they should have literature, because I'd like to think that while they're in jail, they can somewhat better themselves. So maybe manuals or educational books, like a biology book, or or the programs that are in jail, to get a GED. I think those are good. I think those are positive influences, and I think that those might help some of those individuals not come back, because now they have the education and possibly the resources to better their own lives, so that they don't have to resort to whatever made them come to jail in the first place. Sweetheart, can I have the lighter? I know that's one of the main differences in theory as far as conservatives and liberals go, is conservatives really want to emphasize the point of I can't think of the word, what am I looking for? Accountability. It's your fault that you're here, and you should have to suffer for it and think about it, so you don't do it again. While liberals in the other sense are, let's blame society for that issue and problem, and we shouldn't blame the individual for it. And I do, even though most things I am more liberal than I am conservative, I agree with you that it's personal responsibility. I think we've kind of lost that in this country. I think everybody wants to point the finger at somebody else and say, well, it was my mom and dad's fault for not teaching me that was wrong, or it was this guy's fault for convincing me it was a good idea to shoot the woman and steal her purse. You got a head. Use fucking logic. Don't be stupid. And if you are that stupid, go to jail. If you got something mentally wrong with you, we obviously it's a different issue. But if you're fine and you're just too stupid and you listen to others or don't educate yourself, no sympathy. Jail's a punishment. Jail. I like the idea of rehabilitation, but let's face it, most individuals go back to jail again. Can't remember the percentage, I used to know it, but a lot of individuals end up going back to jail, a lot of them within a short time of being on parole or getting out, and that's really unfortunate. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's because they're so cushiony, if it's because we're not giving them the resources. A lot of different people who, you know, are experts on that subject, you know, point to different things. You know, you don't have a consensus of it. It's this one problem that's causing people to go back to jail, or causing them to go to jail in the first place. So that's one of those big debates, and it just kind of depends on how you feel. But I'm all for jails, you know, not being a resort, you know, like you said, not being Club Med. And I do kind of like what that warden did, you know, I think somebody commented on your video about the green meat being just the preservatives that they add. And he made a comment about it's cool for St. Patrick's Day. As long as it's edible. And if, you know, they're getting a good dinner at night, you know, I don't see too much why they're bitching. I personally would think that would suck, because I hate bologna, or bologna. That's what my brother calls it. I hate that stuff. It tastes revolting to me. I probably wouldn't even eat lunch. I wouldn't do it. I'd trade that away for maybe like another item at dinner. I had a buddy who went to jail for a couple months for possession, I think with intent to sell, and he that's what they used to do. They used to bet their lunch trays. They used to bet what food they had, because that's the only thing they could do. So they'd play games and they'd bet, or you'd always hear someone like, I'll trade 2 milks for you know, this or something. I always thought that was funny, and actually that starts a lot of fights. I remember the day he said he got out, he saw a fight that started over that, over, you know, someone had bet, or, you know, lost a bet to, you know, give this up to somebody, and it didn't happen, and the fight broke out. I don't know, I just thought that was funny. And also about the guy you said was on death row that was appealing his death sentence because he was allergic to the stuff. That's kind of ridiculous. You're gonna die, so I don't know why. You know, that really matters. You know, I'd give him the option of a firing squad. You know, you really don't want to, you know, have the allergic feeling, you know, as you're dying. We'll do firing squad. I think a couple states still allow that. I know a couple states still allow the electric chair, and I think there's a couple states that do firing squads. Still at request, it's not like one of those things we automatically do, but at request we'll do that. So I'd give them that option and say, you're going to die either way. You know, you're not appealing why you were convicted, you're just appealing the manner in which we're going to kill you. So we'll give you another option just to solve that problem. But I know that my final point I'm going to make is, I know you brought up, you know, how we use so much of the state's money in appeals, and how it's a waste. I disagree with that. I think the appeals process is necessary. I think it's necessary because, you know, while you have the right to a trial, and, you know, and to have evidence and to face your accusers, and to, you know, be judged by, you know, a jury of your peers, the appeals process is not, you're not guaranteed an appeal. You have to get approved. You know, they review, you know, the preliminary information of the case based on why you're saying, you know, based on, you know, what your point is as to why it should be overturned. And if they don't think you're right, it stops there. You're done. You know, you can't just appeal at anything and everything. You know, they'll say, no, we don't see enough cause for this to be heard by us. And especially at the Supreme Court level, you have to have a constitutional issue. It can't just be, oh, you know, You know, you have to have a good reasoning, you know, and they pick whether or not they want to hear your case. It's not automatic. So, you know, I think that the process is there, and I think that the cases that do get overturned on appeal are good, because there's a reason they should have been overturned. So I think the process is necessary. But that's about it. I'm going to go get dressed for my event, so you guys take it easy and have a good night. Keep the discussion going, guys.